Daiyan, what's kind of the main feedback you've been getting from scouts so far, both at the combine and here?
Basically, most of them are saying that we like you, which is a good thing to hear. In this part of the process, you're just really trying to keep your head on straight, stay focused in what you have to do, take everything day by day, and not think too much about that draft day. Even though I know exactly when it's coming, we only a day less than a month out, but. Right now, I know that the scouts, they want me to stay healthy, through this process, stay healthy, and that's what I've been focusing on and making sure I do everything 100%.
When you've had these conversations, is everyone talking to you as a linebacker, or are there a few teams that maybe think you could play edge in the NFL?
We've only been talking linebacker right now. Now, will there be rush packages for me? I don't doubt that at all, but mainly inside linebacker, off-ball linebacker, that's been my main focus between all my meetings I've had so far.
How would you kind of pitch yourself, when you talk to these guys, and what are your main selling points that you tell them? They're like, this is what I bring to the table.
Comic relief be the first thing. I'll go out there and be like, you don't take it easy, guys, but no, real spill. I would say that I'm versatile. I'm a player that doesn't need to come off the field. I'm there for every down. And then beyond that is that I'm a special teams core guy player. I've been able to be a part of some of the better special teams units in my past, from kickoff to punt to punt return, and being a kickoff returner once upon a time. I doubt they let me go back that far. But if they did, I'd do it. But I've been kind of selling myself as a guy that doesn't need to come off the field every down, fourth down included. So that's been my selling point for sure.
How would you assess your performance today and just kind of the whole offseason, how you've kind of boosted your stock over these last couple of months?
I think that I've been able to showcase everything that I planned on doing this offseason with the Senior Bowl, being able to be the vocal leader, to be placed as a mic and have the microphone in my helmet and be able to communicate for the defense in the Senior Bowl was big for me to communicate that. To show that I can do that, have that aspect of my game. And then to go to the Combine and put up those numbers that I did, that was as planned. And then to come here in Pro Day and be able to be with my guys and have a good drill, and out there by myself doing the drills was something that you don't really plan to do, but to be able to do it and execute, I would say that this process has been going how I've been planning it to go, and there's always room for improvement. So, but till that moment comes, I think I'm satisfied with how it's been going so far.
Daiyan, you look like you're in decent shape.
Decent?
Yeah.
My gosh, hide my muscles. I've been showing it for y'all.
How much of the emphasis in just putting on maybe a little more muscle, or what have you been doing the last 3 months or so in terms of that?
So I walked in to the training process pretty in shape, pretty lean. But for me, it was to increase the muscle mass and lower the fat as well, because coming off of off season, I was eating however. I had to learn eating habits and understand that this is what you need to fuel you. I was more of the Ocho guy, McDonald's versus everything else. But I had to learn that, you need to have a protein type lean balance where you need to have your veggies and all that stuff. But that's something that I put a lot of focus on in this off season, and it helped me be able to better feel myself. To look good is great, and that's a lot of the gym, but to have the feel inside to keep me going and pushing throughout these long workouts has been something that I'm mainly focused on when I've been thinking about my body.
Daiyan, before the draft or the NFL season, what do you think you need to improve on most?
I would say that I want to be more consistent in with my hands, using technique, linebacker technique, something, just continually adapting. Being a linebacker for only 3 seasons, I think that I've done very well in excelling and doing the things that I've been coached to do. And I just feel like I can always take a step further in the techniques of being a linebacker. So using my hands more, I definitely would say I'm going to, continuously focus on and make sure I'm doing moving forward.
Daiyan, in these months and now weeks leading up to the draft, can you just walk us through your day-to-day routine and how you kind of ready yourself?
So it's not as early wake up as college, thank goodness. You got 6 a.m. here, but for me, every day I'm around 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. wake up, get to the facility, have breakfast, have physical training where I get whatever needs to be done that day. Maybe it'd be like leg focus where we get cupping done, we get scraping done, whatever it may be. Then I go from there and we have our set mobility time where we get the mobility stretch, all that worked out, and we get our body feeling right before we head to the field. And then our field days are not that intense. I wouldn't say our workouts are very intense just because we key in on the specific things. So 40 training, we were keying in on 10-yard splits where I spent the whole day mainly just working on my get out, trying to make sure I have a nice 10-yard split. Leaving from the field, we get back, we get lunch, we get time off, maybe an hour or two, just rest, and then we have either an upper body lift, lower body lift, or later days in the week, like Thursday, where we have a full body lift. So that's pretty much a day-to-day for me in just that one day.
Is there anything about this process that has surprised you, or anything that you've kind of surprised yourself on?
I would definitely say that this process has surprised me in the matter, like, it's very much so business. You got to understand that this is me going for my next big job, for my first big job, to be honest. So to have the different conversations that I've had with these many teams and to meet these coaches, and some of the coaches to be very light and generous. So for me to have those conversations, I would say those are surprising, because you go in with a mindset of being very, like, hard on yourself and focused, but then you can take it easy and breathe a little bit. So I've been learning as I go.
Why is it important to come back and do this here? Obviously, you worked out at the combine. Why is it important to come back here and do it? And what's it like to come back to Pullman to do that? Well,
this is Palouse. This is Pullman. This is where I called home for only a year, not even a full year, but for me to be in a place like Pullman, to feel this atmosphere, only a Coug would know what this feels like. And if you're not a Coug and you do know what this feels like, well, good for you. But being a Coug makes it all that much better. So to come back and do my pro day here was always on my agenda. No combine invite or combine invite. It was going to be, I'm coming to Pullman and coming back on the Palouse to make sure they see that I'm in my atmosphere. This is home for me. This is my atmosphere. This is where I thrive. This is where I have thrived. This is where my best season as a linebacker has happened. So when it's time for me to go to the league, I'm representing the Cougs. So to come back here and do my pro day with my brothers as well, talking about them a little bit, to be around my brothers, it means that much more to me.
Daiyan, also along those lines, what did it mean to have this year's team there watching you guys, cheering you on, and everything you were doing? Just what did that mean from just memories of this season and everything, to have them there to support you? What did that mean?
Well, I hope that they know that the feeling will be reciprocated. So for them to watch me today, I hope they know that I'll be here in whatever fall game that I can make it to. I'll be here to cheer them on, to be here, go Cougs, be out there just gassing them up, trying to coach them up on the little things. And I know that they have the guys, the talent to do what they have to do what it takes to win this year. So I'm looking forward to it. So this season, I'm going to be on the sideline. Hopefully one game, maybe 2 games, but whenever I can get my chance to come back to come see my boys, especially them supporting me here, I hope they know that it's love.
And with how hard you've worked to put yourself in this position, just how ready are you now to hear your name called on draft day?
Man, like I said, I know the days. I'm counting the days, I'm counting the hours, I'm counting the minutes. And at this point, I wish it was tomorrow. This process is long, and it's getting longer by the years. You can tell that it's a lot of people who've went through this process, and they'll say, looking back, that this was probably the longest part of football for them. And I can agree. Like, this has been so long. This is the longest offseason I've had. Thinking about college. Right now, I would be in spring ball. Even before then, I'm training for the combine. I'd have been in winter. So this has been a long, long off season. So I'm just ready. I'm just ready for it to be tomorrow or even tonight. If I was to have it called tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be happy.
Hi, Dan. So you've had conversations with teams about, staying with the linebacker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams now after free agency that need linebackers still. And
Yeah.
the team today, the Niners, they actually worked with you on your drill. Kind of, what's it looking like with teams like being, a day one starter, or going in as a student under some veteran linebackers? What's it kind of looking like for you right now?
Well, for me, I'm always willing to learn. So any team that may come get me, I'm hoping to meet a vet in that room and learn from them and be able to grow, because I'm a growing mindset type of guy where I want to learn and continuously grow. So these teams, I tell them all the same thing. Like, I want to join your room and be able to grow. So to have that mindset, it's pretty much set up for me to, go do my best. And as far as becoming a starter, that's my goal. I tell each team the same thing. I plan to come out there and be a starter, so I'm going to put my best foot forward. And I've had a lot of conversations with teams where they say it's mutual interest for me to come out there and play, and that's just because it's a lot of teams with the same defensive scheme that I've been playing in. So I'm not going to say what those teams are, but just to have some teams that I know are rooting for me to in that draft and hoping that they get me is something that I'm happy for. That's it. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, one more.
Let's
Hey,
get it.
you had that long solo drill session towards the
Yeah.
end. What was it like going through that, and any other maybe standout part for you today?
For me, having that drill session was big, because when you're by yourself in those type of moments where you're being watched by 30 teams or so, you have to have that mindset. like, it's not just about getting the job done, but it's about doing it the right way, making sure it's 100% every time, whether you're dying out there or not. This is an interview. Every part of this process has been an interview. Everything that I put out there is a part of my resume. So to be out there by myself, you look at it like, dang, I'm by myself, I'm gonna have a lot of pressure on me. But then it's like, this is where you want to be. This is where I want to be. So for me to go out there and have that moment in this whole process, and like I said earlier, to be in Pullman doing it, it's been amazing. It was an amazing feeling. So I said all that to say it was great, and I invite the pressure. Is that it? I appreciate you guys. Stay beautiful. You know what I'm saying?